From Rudy's on the Circle in Waco, welcome into our Baylor Coaches Show on this Monday. The Bears 6-0 on the season, bowl eligible for a seventh consecutive year. How about that? After 6 games, Baylor reached that bowl eligibility with their 6th victory. Hi and welcome, John Morris, alongside Baylor head coach Jim Grobe. Perfect timing, Coach. Good to see you again.
Timing's everything.
Timing
right?
is everything, and you've got it down. Hey, 6-0 after 6 games. I know you have larger goals, but to be bowl eligible, that is significant.
Yeah, no question, J-Mo. We really knew that the last half of the season was going to be so tough, and we felt like we had to get off to a good start. And, of course, you dream about being 6-0, but we knew we were going to have to earn it. And so we're in a good spot right now with an open date, and then we take really a gauntlet of 6 football games week after week. And that's going to be very challenging for our football team, but it's nice going into it to know we got 6 under our belt.
Absolutely. And some folks kind of, maybe it wasn't that big a deal to them, but let me tell you, we went 16 straight years when we would have killed for 6 wins, to be bowl eligible. So I don't take that lightly at all.
Our old athletic director at the Air Force Academy, John Clune, he was Irish, and he liked beer, especially green beer, at the right time. But he used to say all the time, no bad beer, no bad bowls.
Yeah, that's right.
There are no bad bowl games, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's great. So the win over Kansas, 49-7 on Saturday, 6-0 on the year, 3-0 in Big 12 play. Baylor's the first Big 12 school to reach bowl eligibility. That's worth something right there.
That's a good thing, yeah. I think anytime you get to that point, you're very happy that you're there, but there's more to play for.
Right.
So for our guys, I think it's nice to have that, behind them. We're bowl eligible right now. Okay, we're bowl eligible now. Let's go play some more football.
Was there any, not so much celebration, but any mention of that in the locker room after the game Saturday?
No, not really. I think there was great satisfaction. We dodged a bullet at Iowa State. I think our guys were really ready to play this game. I think they really took Kansas very seriously, which was obvious. And I think there was just satisfaction in knowing that we went out and played pretty good and handled the open date well. But I think there's a resolve knowing that the lion's share's in front of us.
Yeah, we all know what's coming down the road.
Right.
All right, let's look at some of the offensive highlights from the win over Kansas. And the offense, first possession, just, again, won the toss, took the ball, marched 75 yards down the field and scored. What a great way to start the game.
Yeah, y'all are like this. It was a little breezy out there. And a lot of times, I'm an old defensive coach, so a lot of times my thought is go with the wind. I'd rather kick off with the wind so we play defense and have good field position. And so I knew better than to go ask KB, but I went and asked Kendall Browse. I said, Kendall, what do you want to do? It's pretty breezy out here. What do you think? Does the wind matter? He said, Coach, we want the ball. We don't care. We don't care how windy it is. And, he said they actually like going into the wind. It's not a big deal for them. So I said, fine, we'll do it. So, of course, when we won the toss and took the ball, they took the wind, but we took the ball and went right down the field and scored. So we did what we needed to do.
Yeah. You knew the answer before you asked Kendall, didn't you?
I did.
You knew what he was going to say.
I just wasted my breath, even bringing it up.
That was great. And Seth had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. He was, for large part, he was your leading rusher on the afternoon.
Yeah, he did a great job. And of course, the one run into the end zone was a little scary.
Exactly.
He got flipped upside down. And, I'd like to see him keep his feet on the ground, but it was a great play, got into the end zone. And I think he felt really good. I think the nice thing was in the game, we were going empty and we you don't get as good a protection when you don't have your tight end back there and you're running back to help protect. And he took some really big-time shots back there in the pocket. And while that scares us to death, I think it increases his confidence. I think he feels better knowing that he can get hit now and he's going to be okay. Now, we still want him to be smart. We don't want him to, act like he's a linebacker out there going to knock people down. But I think he did feel pretty good when he got in at halftime, knowing that he's not going back on the field and that he'd played a pretty physical first half, and we had 42 points.
42,
so it was pretty good. Yeah,
42-0 at halftime. Nice to have KD Cannon back out there, and he had a nice touchdown catch and run.
Yeah, he really did. I worried about him a little bit because he hadn't had a lot of work. But he looked pretty sharp. I'd have to talk to Tate Wallace, our receiver coach, find out about how he ran routes and those kind of things. But the one play was a highlight play, catching a slant across the middle and then outrunning 2 or 3 guys to get into the end zone. Was pretty good. He caught the little hitch one time and got up about 8 or 9 yards on that. And so going forward, it's good to have him back. There's no question.
And another record for Shock Linwood. He had 1 rushing touchdown on the day, and that gives him 36 for his career. That's an all-time Baylor career record. He passes Alfred Anderson, and 37 touchdowns overall. He has 1 receiving touchdown in his career.
Yeah, he's just having fun right now. He's a guy that early I didn't feel this way, but the last couple of weeks I've really felt like he's enjoying even practicing. He looks like he's having fun at practice and obviously having fun in the games. And I think that run for the touchdown that broke the record's probably not going to be his most memorable run because it was kind of wide open. I think
Exactly.
I think I could have run that one in. But it's just fun right now. He struggled for a little while. He kind of got, I won't say demoted, but he wasn't getting as much work as Terrence and J-Mike were getting, and he bounced back, and that's what you like to see in kids. You like to see them, instead of hanging their head and pouting, you like to see them bow their neck a little bit and blow a couple snot bubbles and get after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about the offense, he had that big hole because the offensive line, I thought, played really, really well on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking Randy Clements, our offensive line coaches, probably feel like we should have had a little bit more push up front. And you got to, what we talk about all the time is what we're not able to do. But in reality, you got to give your opponent a little bit of credit. I thought the front 4 for Kansas was really physical, and I thought they played really physical football up front. I thought, a lot of times they had the right defense dialed up for the play we ran. And so they challenged us really good, especially early. And then, we returned an interception for a touchdown and got great field position a couple times. And they fumbled the snap, and one thing led to another. And mainly the biggest difference in the score was all the turnovers. That's what made the difference. But I really feel like our offensive line is starting to gel a little bit. I think we talked about it. We've talked about it a lot in here. But I really felt like the key to our season was going to be the offensive line and the defensive line. And I think both fronts right now are starting to come together. We thought our offensive line played really well against Iowa State. I haven't talked to Clem about them because the guys are out recruiting today. And I thought defensively, our defensive front this past weekend got probably the most pressure we've got. We had, 5 sacks, I think, maybe in the game. Had a lot of tackles for loss, tackles behind the line of scrimmage. And so the thing that I wanted to see that I think we're starting to see develop a little bit, and knock on wood, I hope it continues, but I think the 2 lines, the offensive and defensive fronts, are starting to come together a little bit.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, 49-7, the final. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the Baylor defensive effort from Saturday. Baylor has the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week. We'll talk about that as well. 5 takeaways by that Baylor defense in the win on Saturday. We're live at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. Back with Coach Jim Grobe on the Baylor Coaches Show right after this. This portion of the Baylor Coaches Show. Back with us live from Rudy's, and want to remind you again, road game next week, open date this week, road game next week, back home on November 5th. Remember the pregame tailgate concert series. It is sponsored by TFNB, Your Bank for Life, and HEB Plus. Takes place each home game outside McLean Stadium just after the Bear Walk. Visit any TFNB, Your Bank for Life, or HEB Plus location around Waco to enter to win a VIP pregame experience. And back inside Rudy's with Coach Grobe, and let's talk about that Baylor defense, and let's start with the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week, Ryan Reed. 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown.
Yeah, and Ryan's been here with us on the show, and I told some of the press guys today, It's great to have a kid like that play as well as he does and have as good a player as Ryan Reed is, but he's a solid gold person. I mean, they don't make him any better than Ryan Reed. He's a great teammate. I don't know anybody on our football team that doesn't love the guy, including the coaches, which is nice. But, he's been a little banged up, and I think this was finally a game where he was totally healthy and ready to go. And just really rewarding for me as a coach and fun to see a guy that's a good person first and also a good player have a day like that. Those are the kind of feel-good things that you like as a football coach. But Ryan Reed, what a special guy, and it would be nice to see him play his best football here down the stretch.
Yeah, that was fun. So 2 interceptions, 1 return, 64 yards for a touchdown. Do you know, I know you know this, folks here, do you know how many tackles he had? So this is the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Week, right? Man's man on defense. You know how many tackles he had? 0 tackles in the game. But that shows how big those interceptions were, that he won the Big 12 defensive player.
Give us a couple interceptions a game, and we're not going to gripe about the number of tackles that you made. And then I thought I saw somewhere where we had like 170 yards in return yardage.
Yes, of interception return yardage.
4
interceptions, 170. That's a Baylor record.
So if you look at the 30 or whatever offense and then add a $170 to it, it looks a little better, doesn't it?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? 170 yards in interception returns. Kansas threw for 134 yards.
Wow.
So you had more yards running it the other way than they had passing it forward.
I didn't even think of it
that
that
doesn't happen very often,
no,
does it?
No. So that was huge. And I thought the things I mentioned earlier, I thought the 5 turnovers were a big part of the win and being as big a margin as there was. But I think also the field position that we got off of these turnovers was huge. So combination of turnovers and field position is why you end up scoring 49 points.
How about Raekwon Davis? That's why Ryan didn't have any tackles, because Raekwon took them all.
He did. He
15
really
solo tackles in the game. Ties for the second most ever solo tackles in a Baylor game.
Yeah, we felt like in this game, because Iowa State ran the ball as well as they did against us, that we needed to get bigger guys on the field. So we kind of changed our personnel groupings. And a lot of times we had Pat Levels, who did a lot of good things in the game Saturday. But Pat's more of a strong safety. We kind of count him as an outside linebacker / strong safety, but he's a little bit undersized. And Ray is just a big physical linebacker, and we felt like we needed bigger guys on the field. So Ray started the game. Pat played a bunch, but Ray just played lights out. I think he was excited to get his opportunity to get back out there and is playing more physical now. One of the things, you need those linebackers to do, there's nothing that you need them to do more than run. Linebackers today are different than me. I'd still be playing in the NFL if they'd let me do it. The problem is short and slow doesn't make it in the NFL, so I wasn't good enough to play at the next level. But now with all the spread offenses that you see, your linebackers have to really be able to run. If they can't run, you just can't put them out on the field. But the problem you get, if you get the guys that run the best, sometimes they're not as physical. So now you got to have guys that will come up and hit you, and that's what, Ray's been a really, really good athlete, but we felt like he needed to be a little bit more aggressive, and he pinned his ears back on Saturday and really showed me something. I thought he played great.
How about Graylin Arnold, the freshman cornerback? He got the start for you on Saturday.
He did, and that's one that was a little bit up in the air. I think we threw you guys off guard by starting him. But he's just practiced really, really well, and as coaches, we just really hesitate to pull the trigger on true freshmen, guys that we're talking about playing in a Power 5 conference and playing Power 5 teams, and you take a guy that's right out of high school and you start talking about throwing him out there, especially on the corner. If you throw him in at offensive guard or you throw him in at defensive tackle, he can make a lot of mistakes and nobody knows it. But when you put him out there on the corner, if he makes a mistake, everybody knows it. And so there's a lot of pressure on those freshmen to put him out there at that position. and I just thought he played really, really good. I think we're going to look at him and feel like for a freshman that we've got somebody that's going to play a ton of football for us at a high level.
I like that. You mentioned the line, the defensive front. Those guys played really, really well on Saturday. Greg Roberts and K.J. Smith and Ira Lewis up there, and then Jamie Jacobs also. All those guys really did a good job.
Yeah, I thought X played really good. I thought if you look, Ty Hunt came in and gave us good pass rush, and that's what we're going to need because we're a little bit undersized up front right now. So if we can keep those guys fresh, if we can just keep rolling them around and make sure that they've got plenty of energy while they're out there, I think we'll be fine. The worst part would be if you get those guys tired and they're undersized, it makes it tough. And so I think we've got a good mix right now. We're substituting a lot. We're playing a lot of guys up front. I thought probably I think our defensive front probably played their best game of the year. And so seeing them go forward. And then if we get Bravion Roy back, the freshman that we started at Iowa State who hurt his elbow, if we can get him back this week and get him back to practicing, I think our defensive front's going to just continue to improve.
You expect to have him back, Bravion?
We hope so, yeah. That was Mike Sims, our trainer. He thought Bravion would be back for Texas. Now, we'll see. Some kids heal faster than others. And, of course, he's in a really physical position. He plays nose guard for us. So to have to get in there and bump heads with all those offensive linemen, that's a tough position to be injured. But hopefully we'll get him healthy. I was making fun of him the other day. He doesn't like for me to, but I noticed before practice the strength coaches were rolling the exercise bike out on the practice field. And so one of the problems with big guys while they're hurt, if you're not careful, they don't get any conditioning. So you've got to find a way to keep them in shape while they heal up. And so because he's got a bad elbow, that means he can get on that exercise bike and go and go and go and go. So while everybody else is out practicing football, he's riding the exercise bike. Here's a 320, 30-pound lineman riding the exercise bike for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So there's nobody in the world going to be happier to get back to practice than Bravion Roy when he gets off that exercise bike.
That's funny. He's tired of that bike already.
He is, no question.
That's funny.
No question.
So it's 49-0. You're up late third quarter. Kansas is driving, and Phil Bennett is out there just coaching his butt off. He doesn't want anybody to score, and he was not like he was mad when Kansas scored that one touchdown.
Yeah, I've never known a defensive coach that didn't want a shutout.
Right.
All defensive coaches want shutouts. But at the same time, the important thing for us was to make sure that all those young guys got a lot of work, and we did that. We didn't put Seth back on the field in the second half. We were able to get J. Mike some running back reps, and all of our linemen got in. We really had about everybody that dressed got in the football game on Saturday, unless it was somebody that were redshirting, and typically we don't even put those guys in a uniform. So the good news is, we played a lot of people, got a lot of experience, because you never know down the road somebody might get banged up and you may have to play one of those young guys. So, and the last thing you want to do is be up 49-0 and get a veteran player hurt. That's the last thing you want to do. So we played a lot of people in the second half, and I thought it was great. I thought it was good to see those young guys, and as much as Coach Bennett hated to give up a touchdown and didn't get his shutout, I think he would tell you his first and foremost thought was make sure those young guys got a lot of reps.
Sure, and still no points allowed in the fourth quarter through 6 games. I think I'm right in saying Baylor's the only school in the nation that has not allowed a single point in the fourth quarter of a game this year.
That's an amazing stat, and especially when you're playing young guys late. We played a lot of the young guys late in the game. So, and I thought Kansas did too. I thought they were smart. I think they played two of their other quarterbacks and got some other people some reps. So anytime that you feel like whether you're in the lead or the team that's behind, if the game's out of hand, you're better off trying to get as many people playing as you possibly can.
All right, 49-7 was the final open date coming up this Saturday for the Bears. We'll look at the schedule that remains after that, including Texas, a 2:30 game we know now on Saturday, October 29th. We'll look at that with Coach Grove when we come back. Our Baylor Coaches Show brought to you in part by John McLaren Chevrolet, the official Chevrolet dealer for Baylor Athletics. Take a break and be right back live from Rudy's. This portion of the back at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco, our Baylor Coaches Show brought to you in part by Spinco Medical, orthotic grade footwear for ultimate comfort and support. Spinco, love your feet, and I don't have those sandals to show you tonight, but you can attest to how comfortable those things
they're
are.
Fantastic, and Holly can attest to that.
Holly also?
She loves them too. Yeah, she got a pair, and they're fantastic.
They are great. I mean, here it is,
good.
October. It's 90. It tied a record in Waco today. It was 93 degrees in Waco.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
it's still sandals,
The
flip-flop
guys
weather.
were glad this was a day off today.
Yeah.
I promise you.
But you see what's coming, right?
Yeah.
A front coming by Thursday or so.
Okay.
I have 75 predicted on Thursday.
Ooh, I like that.
So
I like that.
it'll
That
actually
sounds
feel like fall.
Yeah, it sounds like fall to
It'll
me.
feel like fall.
I wonder where fall went to there for a little while.
Sometimes we have one afternoon of fall, and then it just moves on from there. But this will be nice. Speaking of which, open date this Saturday. What is your practice schedule like this week?
Well, it's that old deal. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right,
so
right.
it worked for Kansas. So we'll gave the kids off today. We'll practice tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. And then probably lift. I think Kaz has got a lift and a workout Friday morning. But then we'll cut the kids loose, and a bunch of them will go back and watch their high schools play on Friday, and hopefully they'll hang around on Saturday and they hang around the TV set and watch all the games,
right.
Especially the Big 12 teams that are left on the schedule, and watch some football. And then we'll get back together and get after it, have a normal practice week, and get ready to go to Austin.
That's great. Austin is next, October 29th. We mentioned 2:30 kickoff, we now know, for Baylor and Texas on October 29th. And that begins a stretch of 6 games in 6 weeks to end the regular season. That is a tough closing stretch for you.
Yeah, it really, really is. Not a bad football team on that schedule, and I think we go to Austin and take on the Longhorns, and then we come home to TCU. And nobody likes to hear this. Gary Patterson's my buddy, but we'll try to beat him. And then we go to Oklahoma, and really. We're talking about 6 games, but we'll really have a good idea of our football team after those 3. We get. I think we'll have a much better idea once we go to Austin. But it's going to be a gut check. I mean, our guys are going to have to play hard and play really good football, and only 2 more home games, only 2 more in McLean Stadium, and you know how much we love playing at home. But our guys are going to have to learn to go play on the road, and we didn't do a very good job of that at Iowa State. Now, and I'm not taking away from Iowa State. I thought they played really good, and I think we're going to find out those guys are a pretty good football team. But we got to play better on the road.
So of the 6 games left, only 2 are at home. One's at a neutral site, Tech in Arlington, and then 3 true road games: Austin, Norman. And then, what am I forgetting here?
Morgantown.
Oh, yeah, Morgantown on December 3rd. How could I forget that?
Yeah, I'm an old hillbilly, and I don't like Morgantown. I'm from Huntington, West Virginia, and I'm a Marshall guy, know. And so Marshall and WVU are like that. And so it'll be good to go back to West Virginia, but on December 3rd, it'll probably be a little chilly, and I don't think I'll get a welcome home.
You have a heavy coat ready for that?
Yeah, I'll need it.
That's it. So it is a tough schedule, not just 6 straight games in 6 weeks, but 4 of those away from home. Where after the win Saturday, Baylor is 33-3 in home games since 2011. 3rd best record in the nation, best in the Big 12. Again, it was a great crowd. It was a great atmosphere on Saturday.
I'm telling you, J-Mo, I'm new to this, to this kind of crowd, and to have a sellout crowd, and then the Baylor line and the Golden Wave Band. I mean, are they special?
Yeah,
wow,
they're great.
I saw where they'd spelled out Baylor and the whole. I mean, it's just fabulous. And in Baylor Nation, I mean, the support that you all give our kids is just off the charts. And for me as a coach, I'm kind of, I got to think back a long way, but I would love to play in front of this crowd.
Yeah.
It would be fun to be in McLean Stadium playing in front of our people. It's just fabulous. And we went over to the pep rally, and that was really cool. I couldn't believe how deep the crowd was with the students and just the Golden Wave and all the, we got the greatest group of fans. It was fun.
Amen to that. Had they lit the bonfire when you were there or not yet?
No, they hadn't done that yet. We need to get those guys to bed. That's the thing. We'd had our pregame meal or Friday night meal, and then we had all our meetings. And when we finished our meetings, we threw all the guys on the bus and went over and got to see, Baylor Nation and all the students and fans. And then jumped right back on the bus,
Sure.
went back to the hotel and put them to bed.
Makes sense. Very good. All right, very good. All right, one of those guys that was over there the other night is with us tonight. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will hear from Lynx Hawthorne. So stay with us. Lynx is here. We'll hear from him when we come back. This is the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, and we'll be right back after this. Shop. And back with us live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. And folks, join me in welcoming in Baylor's senior receiver, number 7 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Lynx Hawthorne, with us tonight. Welcome to you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. Thanks. Glad you could work us into your schedule.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Busy schedule.
Congratulations. And I say senior, and that's not actually correct, is it? You are a Baylor graduate.
Graduated. Yes, sir. Last
Very
December.
nice. That's big. Congratulations to you on that. Good deal.
Thank you.
So, great win on Saturday, homecoming. I think we talked about this last week leading into it. You guys as players, you really don't have a clue what else is going on homecoming-wise on campus, do you?
No idea. Yeah. You go out to the bonfire and you see 10,000 people, and it's like, whoa, like this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But besides the bonfire, I guess, you hear people talking about it here
Right.
and there, but for the most part, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. You're focused on the game, and y'all did a great job there. Big win over Kansas. Seemed like you were really, really focused on the task at hand.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, you can't look over anyone on our schedule, that's for sure. And Kansas, especially, what they had done the week before against TCU, we knew it was going to be a good challenge, and I feel like we stepped up.
Good. You're a wily veteran. Did you have to kind of relay that message to some guys? I mean, you beat Kansas 66-7 last year up there. Did you have to make sure, hey, we got to take these guys seriously?
Oh, no doubt. Iowa State the week before, not that we didn't take them seriously, but that going into every single week, you have to prepare like you're playing the best team in the nation, and because at any given week, anyone's capable of anything. So we definitely, Coach Grove got us on our A game, and we took care of business.
Good. You are an inside receiver. Explain to all of us kind of what you feel like your role is on this team with this offense.
I'm a role player for sure, and I feel like a possession down kind of guy. I'd love to be a deep threat, but at the same time, when we got Katie, Chris Platt-ish guys that, belong on a track, almost that it's where I'm very comfortable with what I do. At the same time, if I asked to go back there and take a snap and not throw it, run it, I'm more than, willing to do that. But, just kind of since I've been here, just trying to find a groove and stick with it. So I really do enjoy inside receiver, though.
And you really are versatile. So last year, it hadn't happened yet this year, but last year Lynx gained yards 4 different ways. Throwing the ball, running the ball, catching the ball, and as punt returner. Now that's versatility right there.
Oh, yeah. I did not know all that.
Yeah,
but
man.
That's right.
You had a short stint at quarterback when we ran out of quarterbacks. What was that like for you?
Oh, I feel like I get this question once a week.
It won't go away, will it?
It still haunts my dreams. It was crazy. It was cool. Fun experience. Obviously going to UT next week. Kind of just don't really like them guys too much.
I got you.
Obviously want to right some wrongs and not play quarterback for sure, but do my part and hopefully get out of there with a win.
You think you'll leave it to Seth, or you'll say, hey, Seth, here's what I can tell you from last year's Texas game?
I'll probably tell Seth take it easy on the run and jumping over people, trying to
really
just throwing his neck all over the place. It'd be, but yeah, they're very strong, defensively, and we're gonna figure it out and have a good game plan going in. So,
are you and Seth have been roommates in the past? Are you still?
Yes, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, that's good. So what's that like? Can you petition him? Hey, you remember me over here?
He's on FaceTime with his fiance all night. So
all night?
Yeah, you didn't get to talk to him.
That's great. Very good. So Lynx was with us when we had a breakfast with the Bears with the Bear Foundation. Some of you may have been there at that point. Yes, and that was really good. And I think at that point we sort of made public, and some people knew ahead of time, your middle name and your brother's name and your family's name. So does anybody know? Does anybody remember? Who knows what Lynx's middle name is? What is it? Gunner is exactly right. How about that? Yeah. Lynx Gunner Hawthorne. I think that's terrific.
It fits.
Where's that? And your brother's name is Brix, B-R-I-X-X.
B-R-I-X-X. Brix Hunter Hawthorne.
Brix Hunter Hawthorne.
And then Lexi Nicole Hawthorne.
And Lexi.
Yeah, so all that. We got X's. So
where does that come from?
Another question I've been asked a lot, and I feel like I make something up different every time. I really don't know. Well, Lexi, her name was going to be Nix Hawthorne, but they found out that was a lice shampoo, so that wouldn't have been good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So stay away from that.
Yeah, so that wouldn't have worked out. My name was going to be Saxon, but they named the dog that. And Brix, he actually has a story that went behind his. My dad was a basketball coach at the time, and they were like, well, you should name your firstborn after, the basketball team. And my dad was like, I mean, all y'all do is shoot bricks. So, yeah, and that actually stuck. And but yeah, they're perfectly normal. My mom and dad. I don't know where the names came from though, but
I think they're
creative.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's very good. So remember that. And my promise to you in your senior year is at least once every game when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna throw out there on the broadcast Lynx Gunner Hawthorne to get that out there.
That's
okay. Awesome. All right, that's for you. What do you think about an open date this week and then six tough games to close this regular season?
I mean, the open date, 2 weeks ago, that was nice. Go and let your family know you're still alive. Keep in touch with all them. Hit up high school football games and stuff like that. Go and visit people you haven't seen in a while. This open week's a little bit more getting focused, getting your body right, getting your mind right, trying to get ahead of the curve because, I mean, that's 6 weeks nonstop action and, it'll wear down on you. But, I mean, it's been really nice to have these open weeks to prepare you for stuff like that. So I think I think we'll utilize it a little bit differently this week.
That makes sense. And Texas, you've already said, you guys don't need much help getting up for Texas, right?
Oh, no, sir.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And going down there as well.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. 2 years ago when we went there, I remember Matthew McConaughey was there, and we were actually just watching Interstellar a little bit ago.
Really?
And he was up in the booth and started doing a little chant or something, I guess.
Really?
From Wolf of Wall Street. He does that little chest beat thing, and I mean, it got him riled up. I mean, it kind of got me riled up. It was like, wow. Yeah. So I'm hoping he's at this game too. I give him a point up in the booth, after maybe someone scores, hopefully me or somebody, whatever. But we're gonna be ready.
Well, I hope it's you.
Oh,
you got so this is your last year here at Baylor. What is the whole Baylor experience? Football, academics, everything, spiritually. What does all that mean to you?
I mean, I would say spiritually for sure. My growth there, just leaving high school, coming to college, you really get a chance to find yourself and working with people like Wes Erie, our chaplain, and guys like that really get you right with God. Something that lasts longer than football, lasts longer than jobs, anything that you can think of. And I'd say that's what I've left Baylor with, more than anything else is, the spiritual journey I've been on. But yeah, academics and obviously football, just coming in as a freshman and to where we are now, it's awesome. Man,
that's great. So you got 7 games, maybe 8 before you leave here. That's you still got a lot of football left to be played.
No doubt. Good. Maybe 8. I like that.
How about that?
Yeah,
throw that
awesome.
out there a little bit. All right, Lynx, appreciate it. Lynx Gunner Hawthorne. Glad he's here with us tonight. Get you some Rudies before you leave. All right.
Appreciate
it. And enjoy and make the most of your final games here at Baylor.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
for having me.
Lynx is with us. Our questions, your questions, when we come back. Questions from the audience. Coach Grove Bree joins us. We're live at Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. We'll be right back after this. Baylor Coaches Show brought to you in part by DuBois Furniture. DuBois Furniture is excited to again give Baylor Nation the chance to cheer on the Bears in style. Enter to win the Baylor Fan Cave giveaway in-store or online. DuBois Furniture, where beautiful homes happen. And welcome back. Coach Grove rejoins us here. Next segment, this segment, your questions. And of the 3 that we had, more than 3 really good questions, but of the 3 that we'll ask on the air, we have a Rudy's gift card to give to each of you that have asked these questions. These are good ones, aren't they?
They are good ones.
They're really good.
They're a little tougher than I like, but
really, I think you fielded everything cleanly that I've seen so far.
So far, we'll see.
And I did not mention, I should have, when Lynx was up here, he is a proud graduate of Refugio High School. He's from Refugio, and he said the whole time he was up here, Levi Norwood was texting him. His phone was going off like crazy the whole time he was here. So Lynx is a lot of fun. You can
He's
tell.
Special. That's a special young man right there.
Absolutely, great representative.
Well, I talked about Ryan Reed. Same deal. Really good football player, but an even better person.
Yeah.
And that's what you like on your football team.
Boy, that's great. All right, here are the 3 questions. First one is from Nathan O'Toole. Where is Nathan in the room here? All right, Nathan's right there. His question, Coach, is how does this bye week compare to the last bye week? What is the same and what might be different?
Well, I think you probably sensed it from Lynx a little bit. I think the last bye week was needed. I think we were a little bit fried after that Iowa State game and the Oklahoma State game, 2 really close football games that went right to the wire. And so I think our guys really needed a break. I think now our guys are kind of chomping at the bit to get on with those next 6 games. So we'll approach it the same way as coaches. We'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then take some time off, come back and get in a normal game week. But I think the anticipation for our guys right now, we're a pretty healthy football team. We really don't need another open date. But I think that the biggest difference is I think our guys probably next week going forward, they probably don't want one. They're probably ready to get going. So I think we had fun getting back on the field Saturday. I think our guys will be happy when this open date's over and we can get back to a normal week of practice and start getting toward the last half of our season.
All right, very good. Nathan, thanks for the question. Good one. Diana or Matt from IMG have a gift card for you. Next question, Coach, from William S. Who's William? Where's William? He's right back there. All right, William. His question is, what are your thoughts on how to stop a hybrid of our offense, but with 2 quarterbacks when we face Texas?
Well, the problem that our offense presents, especially if we're running the ball well, you can't settle in on one thing. The kind of offenses, the spread offenses that are being run today, if they're just a really good throw team, it's not as hard to stop. If they're a really good run team like Kansas State, some of the teams that use the quarterback more as a runner, he might run the ball 20, 25 times a game. If he can't throw the ball very well, that makes it a little bit easier to defend. The ones that are the toughest to defend are the ones where the quarterback can run it and throw it. And now that keeps you off balance. I think in this offense, playing 2 different quarterbacks, a lot of times each quarterback has a strength, and that's what you have to play to. And so if you get a quarterback on the field that's a little bit more of a thrower and less of a runner, you probably want more skilled guys on the field. If you get a quarterback that's more of a runner, like we did last week with Raekwon Davis, you may want to get bigger guys out on the field if you know you're going to get more of a running threat. So I think that sometimes tips their hand, but obviously the teams that can spread you out and throw it and still have a good running game are the ones that drive you crazy.
Very good. All right, William, good question. Appreciate it. We got a gift card for you as well. Have you ever coached a game in Austin?
Have not.
Yeah.
We've played Texas before. When I was at the Air Force Academy, we played them in the Blue Bonnet
in the bowl
Bowl.
game, yeah.
Yeah, but I've never played in Austin.
Yeah. I was at that game. Did I tell you that? 84
You
Blue
might
Bonnet
have
Bowl.
told me that,
My wife's family was from Houston, and we were down there for the holidays. And beautiful day outside, wasn't it, at Rice Stadium?
Yeah,
so.
it was beautiful, and the Birds won, so that was a good thing too.
Nice,
yeah.
Very good. All right, final question from our group here tonight. It's from Rusty Shackelford. Where's Rusty? All right, Rusty, right there. All right, gift card for you. Very timely. It says, is the Big 12 vote to not expand good or bad for Baylor, and why? And just really within the past hour, news came from the Big 12's board of directors that they are not expanding at this time. So our 10 teams are, Dick likes that, our 10 teams are our 10 teams, and looks like no expansion for now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really like it. The one thing that I think so good about the Big 12 is we play everybody. And that's what I did not like when we expanded in the ACC. And John Swofford's my good buddy, and I think the ACC is a great conference. But when we expanded, we would go 2 or 3 years at Wake Forest and not play Carolina. and that was our big rival. And so I really didn't like the idea that every year we wouldn't get to play all the teams in the conference. And I know basketball especially felt that way in the ACC. But for me personally, for Baylor, I think it's good. I do think the thing that we have to do, we have to play a championship game, though. We have to do that. I think the one thing that hurts the Big 12, expansion or not, the teams that play a 13th game, that play a championship game, have a little bit of a leg up on us as far as the playoffs are concerned. So I think as long as we're going to play a championship game, I like the idea that we play 9. You play every conference team, and then I think we're going to be required to play another BCS team, and I think that's good. But right now we're playing everybody in the league, so you get 9. If you add another one, you're playing 10. I said BCS, but I really mean Power 5. In the ACC, we played 8 and had 4 games that we picked, and so you may not play another Power 5 team. You may play any 4 you want to, and so I think our schedule, we're gonna have a lot of I think pats on the back nationally by playing everybody in the conference plus one more Power 5. So you're going to play 10 Power 5 teams, and that's going to be a pretty rugged schedule. But I think for our conference, I think it's good to play everybody in the league.
Yeah, pretty salty. That's great. All right, very good. Rusty, thank you very much. Good question. We've got a gift card for you as well. This each and every week. Right now we'll take a break, come back and have Grove's Greats when we come the upcoming schedule, and wrap things up on this Monday night live from Rudy's. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This portion of Baylor Coaches Show brought to you by Spinco.
Glad you're with us. Final segment on this Monday evening. Look, they're taking pictures in the back with young Truett Beard back there, and appreciate everybody that is here with us this evening. Holly, where's Holly? There she is. She was in the picture. Hello, Miss Holly in the back.
Yeah. Is she back there? Oh, there she is.
She's taking pictures.
She's smiling, so that's good.
Very good.
Thing. I feel better.
We appreciate everyone here, and reminder, we do this every Monday, even obviously on weeks with an open date, so right through the end of the season, and come join us if and when you can. Coach, this segment we like to highlight what we call Jim's Gems or Grove's Greats, maybe somebody, a player or two that we may not notice, but you and the coaching staff really recognize as being a contributor in practice, in a game from this past Saturday, and you named a really good one.
Yeah, I think Ross Matisic, one of the unsung heroes that nobody notices until one of those punt snaps is bad. And he's just been solid gold for us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate him. I've gone through years. I've been in coaching now 40 years, and 20 of those as a head coach. And I can't tell you what a nightmare it is if you don't have a long snapper. If you don't have a guy that can snap for punts, it's just crazy. And good friend of mine, Ted Sundquist, was the GM of the Denver Broncos for a while, and for a long while actually. And he told me one year they had some great players that had gotten their free agency, so they were free to go talk to other teams, and one of them happened to be their long snapper. And these were like Hall of Fame kind of names that you would remember, but their long snapper had more visits to more NFL teams than any player on the roster. So that tells you at the next level how important long snappers are. And Ross, the cool thing about him is he not only snaps the ball really good, but he will run down the field and knock your headgear off. And so it's fun to see. A lot of times your long snapper is just very talented at snapping, but he's not very good at covering. And Ross is like having a linebacker run down the field after he snaps the ball. So I think Ross is somebody that we need to pat on the back more and more and more, who's doing just a great job for us right now.
And sometimes your deep snapper is the same for punts or placement kicks.
Yep.
You've got 2 separate guys there, and then Clint Kelly, who mixes in with those other 2 guys
as well. Clint does both, and Chris Lutzel's our short snapper, and he's got maybe a little bit more zip on the short snap and is a little bit more consistent, and maybe a little bit broader in there to kind of, he's got a big base that kind of takes up some space.
Gotcha.
but very, very talented. And, you know, the long snap's a little tougher than the short snap, but it's nice when you don't have to do both, because I think, you know, when we go out to practice every day, Ross can just work on the long snaps and Chris and Clint can work on the short snaps.
That's great. We've had a really good run of deep snappers here. I mean, guys that go on into the pros and have done really, really well. So it's pretty good legacy here.
And, you know, some of those long snappers, their career might be 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, they can go a long, long time. And this is a guy that's pretty special. And another, yeah, okay, this is a broken record, but another great kid. You know, just another off-the-charts great kid.
Good to know. All right, how about we didn't mention him. You mentioned him in passing, but Zach Smith played the entire second half at quarterback. How do you feel like he did? You know, here's a freshman, a true freshman, thrown into a Big 12 game, and seemed like handled himself really well.
I thought he did fantastic. And remember now, when we put Zach in, we put a lot of the other young guys in with him. So some of our linemen were inexperienced. Some of the receivers had played, but not to that extent. And so I just thought, Zach, I think he showed everybody that we got a pretty good quarterback coming along. You know, I mean, we're all going to be sad when we lose Seth. But in Zach Smith, I think we got a guy that'll pick right up where Seth leaves off and take us where we want to go. I mean, we've got a really fine young quarterback, another great kid, really brilliant kid, smart, has run this offense in high school, is very comfortable, has a great arm, can really gun the football. And I just see him getting better and better every day, and he practices really hard, and he and Seth are really close. And so I feel so good about Zach Smith right now. And then, you know, I hated it when he hit the touchdown pass and we had linemen downfield. That was kind of actually. I think when we pulled Tanner around, I think he missed his block and stumbled down. You know,
he was kind of falling forward.
Yeah, because he was trying to kick the edge out and just kind of. And then once he saw the ball was thrown, he just kind of kept going. So you got to stop and stay back there. But I thought Zach played really, really, and that's what I've been looking for. You know, we really ended up in so many games that were really close. We couldn't get him out there, and in some of the games when we decided to put him out there, we waited too long and he didn't get enough snaps. So I thought it was really good to give him a whole second half and let him be our guy. And toward the very end, we kind of didn't want to throw the ball anymore. We wanted to just run the football and kill the clock and get the game over with. But that third quarter especially, I thought he had a good chance to show us what he could do.
Very good. Final minute here. You know, he's from Grandview, just up the road in Grandview. They were the Grandview Zebras.
Oh, the Zebras.
They are.
I hadn't heard of the Zebras
Can
before.
you picture what their helmet looks like?
That was cool.
Zebra stripe helmet.
How about that?
Yeah.
It looked like the Bengals, maybe something.
Yes.
Yeah,
a little more
neat.
stark with the black
but
and
I'm going
white.
to tell you what we were in high school. Huntington High Pony Express.
Oh,
had
the Pony Express.
Horse with the horseshoe on there was cool. That was
like
cool,
that.
really cool. Kind of a horse, the pony running through a horseshoe.
All
and
right.
I've not seen that anywhere I've ever gone. Pony
That's
Express,
pretty nice.
pretty cool.
All right, we'll talk high school mascots next week. We'll be here with another show next week, and our time is done for tonight. Y'all are great for being here. Thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate you. Enjoy the
Jay.
open date this week, and we'll be back next Monday with another edition of the Baylor Coaches Show. Thanks again to Bob Baker, our engineer, and thanks to those of you who asked questions and won prizes tonight. Thanks very much for being with us, and for now, good night from Rudy's.